asked you if you believe in God, and I said, yes, I did. And they didn't ask which God I believed. I didn't tell them that the God I believed in had horns. Basically, Masonry is an antichrist thing. It claims it's not religious, but it is. Almost every single leading occult person of the late 19th and early 20th century was a Freemason. They just go together like, love and marriage. When I was into Satanism, we understood and were taught that Satan draws energy from being worshipped. And when these guys, even if they don't understand it, every time a Mason kneels at the altar and swears an oath, the devil gets energy from that. Again, there was this group in Chicago, and they were entwined with this Memphis Mitzrayim rite, and I interacted with these people, and at a certain point they said, well, if you want to go any further and become a satanic priest, you need to, sell your soul to the devil. And so they took me to this park in Glen Ellen, Illinois, which is like a suburb of Chicago. And they said, don't worry about it. The cops are all devil worshippers. And they brought out this black book, and I swore an oath to Satan, my allegiance to him.
But yes, we do consume each other's blood on occasion for ritual purposes only. It is used for a reason, and it is controlled, where it's like, let's shed a few drops of blood and each drink it. He's much more haphazard and hectic and chaotic, where he's willing to just like cut his chest open with broken glass and be like, take my soul, let me bleed on you. It doesn't not happen, let me tell you. Maybe not exactly like that, but a version of that has happened many times.
Essentially, you have adrenaline in your body. I'll just simplify it. And when you are scared, you produce adrenaline. If a child knows he's going to die, his body will secrete this adrenaline. It's the worst horror I've ever seen, is screaming alone, even if I never, ever saw it. It's beyond, and these people that do it, there'll be no mercy for them.
Don't look at these people and judge what they would do on the basis of what you would do, because it's not the same thing. Orchestrating attacks on 9/11, which killed 3,000 people, around 3,000 people. To us, we wouldn't think about it, but even if we did think about it, the empathy with not only those that died and those that suffered horrors in those buildings as they collapsed, but all the families. We could never do that. Delete empathy, and 3,000 people dead on 9/11, and so what? That's the attitude that they have, and people can't kind of understand that. They think, no, they would never do that. Well, hold on a second. If you will take a little child before the age of 6, 5 or 6 is when they want them, you will put them into mind control projects that involve grotesque trauma, emotionally, mental, and physically trauma. And you will sexually abuse them. You will use cattle prongs as a punishment and as a way of getting them into a state of total submission to your will. You will torture them. You will make them watch animals and children being sacrificed as a form of incredible trauma. You'll find out their greatest fear, and you'll make them experience it over and over again to break them mentally and emotionally. And you will do that over and over and over again. That's Father George Bush, and he's just one of them. You would pepper bomb Baghdad and have no emotional consequences. You would do 9/11, have no emotional consequences. You would put a virus out there to kill large numbers of people, no emotional consequences. You would put stuff in vaccines designed to affect people mentally, emotionally, and physically. You would have a eugenics operation. You would plan and scheme to dramatically reduce the population, and you would have no empathy with the consequences of your actions that others would feel. That's the mentality, Luke, that we're dealing with. And because they're not like the general human population. They don't see the world and they don't see life in the same way. And that's the force we're dealing with. And we need to get streetwise to that, and then we'll have a chance of dealing with it. Because why we say, they'd never do that. No, you'd never do that. They do it every day.
You be the judge. If you're awake, then the message is already clear. Support the movement. Show where you stand. Some choices echo long after the moment has passed.